The GMTK Game Jam is one of the biggest game jams ever, and this year I decided I was going to participate. Wait, but it's the weekend. I need to catch up on sleep. No. So anyways, today I'll be walking you through my 48-hour, slightly sleep-deprived journey through the 2022 GMTK Game Jam with my friend Crown Phoenix. Let's get started. We started the jam 2 hours after the theme was announced, so we were already behind schedule. We both hadn't seen the theme yet, so we were excited to find out.
Your goal over the next 48 hours is to make a game that fits the following theme. Roll of the dice.
Right away, we started brainstorming ideas. At the start, brainstorming was slow, but after about half an hour, we had two promising ideas. The first idea was for a game where you were a casino manager and you had to rig the dice in your games just enough to make a profit without your customers noticing. We ended up scrapping this idea because we couldn't figure out how to turn this into a fun game mechanic. The other idea we had was for a boss rush game where you'd get a random weapon which could be re-rolled between every boss. Each boss would have a specific type of weapon that worked best on them. For example, these guys would be quickest to kill with homing weapons because they teleport around. To add some strategic depth, we decided that re-rolling your weapon would cost some of your health and that you'd get a rank at the end of the game based on how fast you killed the bosses. This was meant to encourage players to go back and try to take less damage during the bosses so that they could re-roll to get a better weapon for the upcoming bosses, which would allow them to do the bosses faster and get them a higher score. Now that we had an idea in mind, it was time to start creating the actual game, because, as you might expect, making a game is kind of required for a game jam. I got started on the programming, and I'd created a basic character controller for the player, and I mean really basic, like 10 lines of code. I honestly don't know why I didn't think to just use the built-in smoothing with Unity's old input system before. This saved like 2 hours of hassle. You can even customize the acceleration and deceleration with these two parameters. Next, it was for the animations. Normally, I hate animations in Unity, but again, this time it went surprisingly smoothly. Also, just try and tell me that this run animation doesn't look cool. Like, I even made him bob up and down. After that, I added the ability for the player to shoot, and now it was time for this boss fighting game to get some bosses. I started by adding this big-looking slime who had two attacks. One where he would slam the ground around him, creating a shockwave, and one where he'd shoot out projectiles. Again, this surprisingly didn't take me very long. At this point it was getting late, so this marked the end of my day. Day 2 was all much of the same. I woke up not sure if I had finished the project on time, but throughout the day I managed to implement all of the systems needed without running into any major bugs. The only noticeable thing that happened on day 2 was me and Crown Phoenix making the music, so I'll play that for you now. I think it turned out pretty well, considering neither of us are musicians. Anyways, on to day 3. I woke up on day 3 with a little over 4 hours until the deadline, with a whole list of polishing things to do. I sat down and got straight to work. I added the main menu, put the music in the game, made the boss names display above their health bar, and fixed a bunch of small bugs, and implemented some other quality of life features too. Crown Phoenix made the art for the main menu, and I also used it for the thumbnail. After that, it was just a matter of making the page on itch.io and submitting the game 20 minutes before the deadline. Overall, I think the game turned out well. Most people who I got feedback from enjoyed it, although it was too difficult for some people. What I would have liked to have done better was the incorporation of the theme. I was originally going to implement a dice rolling animation for when you re-rolled your weapon, but I ran out of time. After the jam, I realized how much that would have helped tie in the theme. Another problem I ran into was I completely forgot that people generally don't play Game Jam games for more than 10 minutes. I had neglected this when making the game, so most people wouldn't even complete the game once, never mind trying to get a better score. Compared to my other Jam games, I think this deserves an A rank. Thanks for watching. The game is linked in the description if you want to go play it for yourself. Have a good day. Bye.